Hey YouTube boxing fans, folks, this is Boxing Analysis and Predictions, and I have here Abel Sanchez take on Canelo versus Khan, and Dominic Wade versus Triple G Gennady Golovkin, and Miguel Cotto was thrown into the mix as well. So we're going to listen to Abel Sanchez, and I'll give you my thoughts right after. So there you have it.
Choice, but there can't be a new division. There's already enough divisions. There's 17 of them already. We don't need another Canelo division. So no, I can't have any respect for not only for him, but all the other great champions on 160 pounds that fight at that weight and sacrifice to get to that weight. What does that say about them? Well,
There's more coming, so stay tuned.
Haven't fought at 155. Well, 28 years ago, a guy named Roberto Duran moved up 135 pounds to fight, moved up two divisions, 12 pounds, to fight Ray Leonard and beat Ray Leonard. Then he moved up two more divisions to fight Marvin Hagler and lost a 15-round decision by 2 or 3 points. The weight sometimes adds something, not only to his chin, it could add something to his power, it could add something to, he's still going to be fast, he's still going to be quick on his feet. Canelo gets hit. Canelo will be 170 pounds by the time he sets the ropes. Will he be a little too slow for Khan? I don't see this as a bad fight or an ugly fight. What I do see is that there's no limit there's no cap on what Canelo can weigh on fight night. So that's the only problem. That could be that he may be a little heavy and may wear out Amir. But I'm sure that Virgil's going to have a great plan put together. I'm sure that Virgil understands the inadequacies of Canelo after the 6th round. So I'm sure that Virgil will have Khan focused. If he does, and Khan is able to follow instructions, we may see a hell of a fight.
You know, if somehow Khan does win, or one of these predictions that you say comes true...
We'll talk about this.
Let me put it to you this way.
Unified champion. The Canelo doesn't fight us is not as important as being the unified champion. Yes, obviously that's a big fight for us, but there's other big fights. If somebody beats Canelo, that's the guy that's the big fight for us. If it's Khan, great, then we fight Khan. I don't want to think about that because that's going to be kind of hard to swallow, being that he did move up from 40-47. But like I said, Roberto Duran did it and fought Hagler at 160. So we'll wait until the 7th and see what happens. I think Daniel never mentions it either, though. Okay, but I think this is maybe a prelude to negotiations with Al. You know, because this is an Al Heyman fighter here. Tom Loeffler happens to be that kind of promoter that deals with everybody. He doesn't have any enemies. He's willing to talk and try to hash something out and try to make fights. So if this is the beginning of something, and Daniel is the next one, I think that's a great thing for boxing.
Trainers often have...
Now that's about it, folks. What we have here is a few scenarios that Abel brought up, and he's saying that this is a difficult fight for Canelo. This is not an easy fight. If Khan can follow instructions and stay off the ropes and don't try to trade with this guy. And also he brought up the fact that after the 6th round, they see flaws in Canelo's game. He basically runs out of steam, and they think that they can capitalize on that. I think that Abel Sanchez here is giving a lot of credit to Amir Khan, and he believes that he can pull it off, and you know, it'll be the upset of the century. However, he does mention that the catch weight, or not the catch weight, the hydration claw is not in place, which means that Canelo can come in at any weight he wants. He can be at 180, okay? And we've seen Canelo coming in at 170, 175 before, and he can wear down his opponents, okay? The power will just be too much for Khan, okay? That's what I'm basing my opinion on the fact that there's no hydration claw, and Canelo is going to be way too big. But in my opinion, it's going to be very competitive in the first few rounds. And I keep going back to the Erislandy Lara fight. and how Erislandy Lara, the first 6 rounds was was outboxing Canelo. And even against Cotto in some rounds, we've seen Cotto outboxing Canelo. And the Mayweather fight, I mean, Mayweather outboxed Canelo in all rounds, all 12 rounds. So Khan has a legitimate chance here, and it's not a cherry pick by Canelo by all means. This is a competitive fight, and all the experts and trainers, and they're giving Khan a lot of credit, and they think that he's got the hand speeds, he's got the boxing skill, and he's got the footwork. And he just needs to execute the game plan, okay, and not trade with Canelo. But again, if Khan lands 10 punches, and if the power doesn't carry to the middleweight division, and if 10 punches of Khan may not do, may not even be equal to 2 punches from Canelo. So if all Canelo needs to do is land that heavy punch either to the body or to the head, and then makes Khan doubt himself. So but we'll see. I mean, Khan needs to do a lot of movement, like I said before in my other videos, and but this is interesting to hear Abel Sanchez break it down like this, and giving Khan a lot of credit for not only for taking the fight, but for having the hand speed and the foot movement and the skills to pull off an upset. And that's about it, folks. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Abel Sanchez, or you think he's just he's not too thrilled of the idea of possibly if Khan beats Canelo, Triple G is going to have to face Khan, and he's not thrilled with that because Khan he's coming from way down welterweight, actually 140 to the welterweight to the middleweight, and but it is what it is. So we'll see. I definitely like this matchup, Khan versus Canelo, and like I said before, it's not as easy for Canelo as people think. This is probably the hardest fight for him. I think this is harder than Cotto fight, simply because Khan can box. All right, folks, let me know your thoughts, and until then, have a good night.